So come on, everyone. I request you put your hands together and let's invite on stage Mr. Sai Narayan, Chief Marketing Officer, PolicyBazaar.com, for the Fireside Chat India Outlook 2025.
All right, perfect. So I'm lucky to be having two back-to-backs. They were supposed to happen together, but c'est la vie, such is life.
More work for you.
More work for me. I've tried to keep it fun and light for everyone else. So, Sai, it's been a while since I last bumped into you at social events. Clearly, Policy Bazaar has kept you very busy, and I hope the year has gone really well for you. And but there is so much happening this year, right? There has been such a shift of tectonic plates on the digital landscape, advertising landscapes, new technologies getting introduced. 2024 has everything to offer.
Yeah.
How has it been for you guys, and how do you see this entire outlook towards how advertising is evolving? And you guys are one of the top advertisers creatively and as spenders. As a company, you are one of the market leaders, having a dominant market presence on category creation as well as category education. How do you see the entire year for you guys?
Wow, that's a lot of adjectives for us. So I think I'll take it from where you started. That Policy Bazaar has kept me busy. But having said that, it's been a decade that I've been with Policy Bazaar, and I to be honest, I just still don't know how the time has flew. The only thing the only time when I feel that it's been 10 years is when I see my grays. So I used to look quite young 10 years back. So, but having said that, I think some of the adjectives that you put, while all of them are true, but we still like to stay grounded on about the fact that because there is a lot of ground to cover when it comes to insurance and insurance penetration. It's dismal when it comes to protection coverage in India. It is extremely low. So we feel that the job is just started. Like over the years, we just built a platform where this facility was not available at all for consumers, where you can come and compare and check insurance policies. Now that we have made it available, now I think is the real work that we need to do, which is about consumer education. And that's where our focus is on how can we educate. Like for example, it's a pretty there are three segments that we are looking at. One is super HNIs, and then there is below the poverty line. So pretty much what happens is that when a super HNI would have some kind of savings, and they don't depend on insurance while they should have. At the same time, below poverty line there is some kind of government scheme. But the biggest challenge is the middle class, which is the middle, which does not have enough social security in India. And for them, it is super critical. Like for example, even today, India is single income dependent. While it's changing slowly, but largely it's single income dependent. So if something happens to the earning member of the family, be it male or female, everything just crushes, right? Everything just it comes down. So therefore, our focus is to that how can we educate this middle segment to ensure that they have social security via insurance, be it term or health. That's our go-to product. And to be honest, we are quite again, very humbly, I would say that we've tried to be very honest about educating the consumers about term and health without very very selflessly. We have done that, and that's what even IIDA's vision is insurance for all by 2047, and somehow we have also taken the tagline to with us, which is Har Family Hogi Insured, and we were committed to this cause, to be honest.
I think it's interesting because I think the categories. So it's one of the category creators. Like I said, pre-Policy Bazaar, if somebody brought up a policy, you would look at LIC and just say, this is not fun for me. But as a marketer, you also mentioned you've been there for a decade now, right? I mean, when you look at how you position your brand and how you position your category, and there are such diverse advertising pedigrees, examples that you've created at Policy Bazaar. And I think we spoke about it last time, almost a couple of years back. And since then, I have personally seen there is such high emo that involves a category like this. There is education, there is a certain sentiment evolving to it. Now, cut to 2024. I'm sure you have a very large team of marketers who are always coming up with ideas on how to make it easier and how to use so many technologies currently available in the market. Do this, do that, do influencer, or probably look at generative AI for doing large scale performance advertising to get more traction on the site. How do you balance that, after spending a decade, and how do you evaluate some of these new things coming in, or do you still put the customer at the core of it and say, yeah, everything still moves around it?
No, I think what you said in the last word, which is we have to put the customer at the core. I'll give an example. Like you said that we have done different creatives and everything. I was talking to someone yesterday that that they were asking that what's happening to term insurance. What is the growth? How are you growing? We told them that we've been the foremost brand in the category who've been actually building the category, and we've come a long way, and we still feel that all these while we've been running against the wind, because there's so much to do, and from a creative standpoint we've tried to be funny, we've shocked them, we've actually been emotional, we tried to scare them, we've done everything, and still the blip has been quite small. But that's one challenge that we have. How do we kind of create this explosion in the category where everyone sees the need of buying term insurance. Health insurance, still we feel that there is the ecosystem has helped. COVID has helped. So people are worried about their own health, and they feel while even the penetration there is low, but there is some sense of the challenge there is different, which is will I get the claim or not, and that's where we are working on health insurance. How do we strengthen our claim support? But whereas the challenge in term is about building the category. But having said that, yes. So the other part of your question, which is that even today, what happens? Like for example, there are different sources and different. So in everything, what we do is we keep consumers at the center. Like for example, we felt that there was a time when after COVID, the demand had completely dried out. So when I say demand had dried out, it was our traffic had completely dipped, and because
Quite surprising, considering
post-COVID, I think at that one time people were just you live only
I survived
once.
it. I survived it.
Have survived it. Yeah, and you live only once, and they started traveling and spending on shopping and restaurants. Restaurant business had grown, so therefore they stopped thinking. And at that point of time, we felt that we need to somehow shake people's consciousness about why the importance of term insurance. And that time we came with a campaign which was slightly on a scaring the consumer side. And at that, I clearly remember, I'm part of this one CMO group where that campaign was torn apart completely. And as a marketer, you feel you want to be liked by your fellow marketeers, but when we went back to the numbers, we felt that consumers were actually coming. The traffic had increased. So somewhere, I could have easily gone back and said, look, people, a small group of people in my echo chamber are not liking the campaign, so let's change it. But the fact of the matter is, it is the reality. What we were trying to show is the reality, and that's why we're not shied away from showing the reality. So again, coming back to your question, that our process is very simple, that we need to increase the overall category, and whatever technology is helping us for this cause, we are game for it. Be it AI, and especially we have some. I always tell the team that we should keep some budget for experimentation, because with evolving technologies, and especially I tell them that if a technology we have invested in, or a medium or a source we have invested in 1 year back is not worked for us, we should do it after 1 year definitely, because technology is evolving. The consumer is evolving, so it might work now, and then that has happened in the past.
I think again, at the risk of asking, you're a digital native brand, right? I mean, at the end of the day, your entire business is on the app or people joining your mobile side or the desktop side. Now, India is a fairly well penetrated, internet penetrated country in the world. We have the cheapest, top 10 cheapest data per GB consumption. Internet is no longer for the luxury. It's well penetrated everywhere. India has got decent internet penetration. Still, there's a long way to go. Um, where do you see, and you mentioned that we've done enough, but it still seems like a blip for a 1.2 billion people country with mass access to internet. And I think TikTok did what Facebook could not do in like 10 years, right? They had a 200 million MAU. How? What happened? What were they doing right? Do you think there is significant communication challenges? And I think that gets me to my question that today the Indian consumer is no longer a single screen consumer. They're all multi-screen consumers, right? They are watching stuff on their mobile, then they are watching TV, then they are doing something else. And most of these screens are also getting digitally connected, right? Today, no TV produced is a box TV. All of them are smart, whether you connect it to Wi-Fi or not. Absolutely. That makes it a smart connected TV or not a connected TV. All of them are smart televisions, right? How do you see that communication landscape evolving? And do you see that, I think, more and more as we get into the next year, it'll be more multi-screen conversations. It'll be more, hey man, so this user plus his apartment, plus his digital out of home in his apartment, plus his CTV, plus his mobile is how? Maybe we are going back to old pamphlet days of dropping the pamphlet till you actually see it. You throw it 5 days, then 6th day you see it. We bombard like location plus multi-screen and like kill it there, right? And that is how you see traction. Do you think that's the scope of the next year?
No, I think it's a very difficult time to be a marketer, to be honest, because the consumer the consumer behavior is changing so fast, and the technology is changing even faster. In fact, it's the other way around. The consumers are pushing the technology to go faster or change faster. So it's a very complicated time to be a marketer, because one thing that has worked for you is not working the next month. So it is very difficult to plan for next year. So it's like next month is what we're looking at. But having said that, I'm not a lot of this debate happens around when someone says let's just move everything to CTV, let's just move everything to mobile, let's just move everything to say some other medium. So I think pre-COVID we were largely a TV heavy brand, and digital was largely performance. But I think over the years we have also evolved and understood that there is a clean migration that has happened. So now what we do is we do screen planning. We don't do say linear TV planning or CTV planning so we do screen planning. So we said that wherever the consumer is, wherever the reach is, like for example, linear TV has already given it. There are certain genres which are wiped out because the audience is moved. So if the audience is moved, our monies have also moved there. So largely it is a screen planning for top of the funnel, and digital performance is pretty much stays that. The only thing that has really worked and we've seen like significant growth is around influencers, which has again I really thought it's a bubble, but I think the amount of creators there are out there, it is just mind-boggling the way it works. It took me some time to wrap my head around how this medium works, but once we kind of cracked this, we are very bullish about how this entire creator ecosystem is going to take India by storm, and therefore the consumption of so I think we have a challenge there, which is that the short form content, the reels, which consumers it's largely for entertainment purpose, but our category is very anti-entertainment. Yeah. But we need to find a way to become entertainment for that audience, so that we are able to at least I think the creative planning for that screen needs to be slightly more different. So we might have to work around that.
I think it's very interesting you bring it up. Like 10 years back, I used to be with a brand called Puma, and there used to be nothing called influencer marketing. But I think most of these sports brand understood influencer marketing then. Doing, the first ones, I mean, first ones to do it, because then we used to assign one uncle who was like a runner and who was a heart patient, and he used to influence the entire of Andheri area. Yeah. And all that took was shoes and t-shirts. Obviously now it has been digitalized and there are different ways to looking at it, but I think for someone like you at your chair to look at influencers as a category, I would be super excited of what you guys are doing there, right?
I think you're right. I think it influence always existed, just that digital and this entire technology has given it a different meaning altogether.
Okay, guys, that's us. And before Sai leaves, obviously, I'll put him through the very, very complicated rapid fire, which he obviously accustomed while he was sitting there. So questions might be a little different. The game is the same. I feel Bijoya still has a hamper, which I don't know if she has it or not. But if it doesn't, you can take the speakers, which are quite decent. So, okay, so my same question to you. India's historic win at T20 World Cup, if it had a Bollywood movie title, what would it be?
The T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
I think Chak De India.
Chak De India. That is a better one. Lagan, I felt, was like, struggle nahi kar rahe yaar, matlab hum jeet ke aaye. Okay, my next question. Policy Bazaar has been known for like clutter-breaking advertising, attracting youth to invest in this category, right? That's been a critical part. Would India's Got Latent be the kind of show for a future investment for Sai?
Yes, why not? Yeah? I think, in fact, our team also reached out, but I think it didn't work out monetarily, but why not?
If Samir Raina and people who like him are listening, please, this is coming from Sai. But directly.
We have to tell them we are very performance focused, so yeah, you need to deliver numbers.
So is he. The problem is that. Okay, last question, Sai. For Policy Bazaar's man to bet on for the brand ambassador amongst the current India-Australia series. If their Policy Bazaar had a brand and that brand was a player, who would be that in the
Jasprit Bumrah, no doubts.
Bang on. That wraps us up, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sai, as always.
Thank you so much.